What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the watch parties. It's good to be back. It's time. Football almost matters again. it's almost for real. But I gotta say, for a bunch of the guys playing today, it is incredibly real. This is their final audition before cutdown day on Tuesday. So just to give you an idea, Monday I'm going to be putting out my final 53-man roster prediction, and then on Tuesday is going to be live coverage of the cutdown deadline. We're going to go live. I don't know how long we're going to be live for. Probably quite a while, as the guy from Wisco Fanatics and we discuss the 53-man roster, how it's shaped up, what we anticipate is next, etc., etc. So I'm John. This is Claudia, partner and pod partner in life. We're here to take you through the first half of Packers versus Ravens. And if you thought the starters were going to play today, you are woefully mistaken. 38 Green Bay Packers, 38 of the 91 on the roster are not going to be playing today. And I will get to that full name in just a second as the opening kickoff starts off with a touchback. Now, I will say, because of where we live and all the rules about the nonsense with streaming it and stuff like that, we are watching the Packers.com stream. I would not be shocked if, as we go through the course of the game, if we find out that that's a couple seconds behind where you may be. So just bear with us. It's preseason for us, too.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Hand, thank you so much, man. What a way to start watch parties on the year. Thanks, Chris. Means a lot.
Good season, Packer family, and our awesome host. Go, Pack, go.
Thank you, Chris. And Janelle is here as well. Hello to you,
Janelle.
Janelle.
Me too.
All right. Sean Clifford taking the snap, rolling back. It's play action. He's nearly absorbed by a Baltimore Raven and dumps it off to Ben Sims. Incomplete. Not to sound negative, but there may be a bunch of that today. Let's just be real. So I have not seen, I think the Ravens are using mixed personnel. Some of their regulars are playing, if not their full-fledged starters. So, I don't think it's going to be like last week, but there may be some bumps in today's game. Now, 2nd and 10 as Clifford's in shotgun. And if you're wondering, I would say Sean Clifford is still very much quarterback 2. There we go, Emmanuel Wilson up the middle.
Beautiful run up the middle.
Oh, and then he is brought down. Looks to be about 12 yards on the carry before he's brought down by a multiple Baltimore Ravens.
Well, first he was picked up and then...
and then he was brought down. Yeah, that's factual. But just a run right up the middle, broke 2 tackles. What the Packers do with running back is going to be incredibly interesting now, with A.J. Dillon experiencing his shoulder stinger and some complications going on there from all accounts. Then you've got Lloyd and his hamstring.
Yeah.
The continued emergence of Emmanuel Wilson. It may be one of the more difficult positions to kind of guess for the 53. First down now, Clifford drops back and finds...
straight down the middle.
That is Malik Heath. Nice gain down the middle. Heath had a very good day the other day against Baltimore. Probably, quite possibly, his best practice of camp was against Baltimore in that joint practice the other day. Certainly, I would say the most productive, at a very least, as he's competing with Grant Dubose for wide receiver 6. So, I may miss a play here, but if you're looking for that full list of 38 Green Bay Packers not going today, 1st and 10 as Clifford is on about the 46 in Baltimore territory. He's under center, takes the snap, and hands it off to Wilson, who does a little shimmy.
Who
and
breaks through down the middle, through the puddle.
Gains a bunch. All right, so that full list of Packers not playing today: Quay Walker, Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Jordan Love, Jaden Reed, Duntavian Wicks, Javon Bullard, Eric Stokes, Robert Rochelle, Jerry Alexander, Keyshawn Nixon, A.J. Dillon, Xavier McKinney, Marshawn Lloyd, Evan Williams, Carrington Valentine, Eric Wilson, Zach Tom, Rashawn Gary, Kingsley Enagbare, Android Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, Rasheed Walker, Spencer Waiga, Josh Myers, Edrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, Rasheed Walker, Spencer Waiga, Josh Myers. I reclipped the pictures. Then we also have Andre Dillard, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, Jordan Morgan, Tyler Davis, Tucker Kraft, Romeo Dobbs, Luke Musgrave, LVN, Preston Smith, TJ Slayton, Devontae Wyatt, and Kenny Clark. Oy vey.
Who was the 5th guy that you said was out?
I'm on it. I got it. Jaden Reed, in case you're
okay.
wondering. Yes,
Thanks.
yeah.
Couldn't catch it and all that.
Speaking of couldn't catch, there's Joel Wilson. I know Joel Wilson had a very, very productive first preseason game against Cincinnati, and that's not to take anything away from him. I'm not meaning to sound negative, but his hands have been an issue throughout the entirety of camp. So that kind of play right there where Clifford went to Wilson and it just went off of his hands, I'm not going to say that that was irregular throughout the course of training camp. Kind of normal, and that does seem to be the big knock on the potential that is Joel Wilson thus far. Got a couple people.
Captain Kebbles, hello all. Hello, Captain Kebbles.
Hello,
Good to
Captain
see ya.
Kebbles.
Connie saying hello and thank you for doing this for us out of Wisconsin fans.
Of course, Connie. I say, like, the Packers made it easier to view the preseason if you live in the state of Wisconsin this year. Wonderful. I don't know if they know this, but there's kind of a worldwide following of the Packers, and they're making it tougher than it needs to be. It's preseason. Just put it on Packers.com for everybody. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 now for Clifford. He takes the snap, drops back a little bit. He's looking. He's got
running.
a scramble, and he's backpedaling, and then he throws a duck.
Threw it away.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him.
Clifford, it's just, I've talked about this before. There's the goods and the bads to being a gunslinger. And last year, it's like we saw the majority of the good because he was a rookie and no one really had tremendous expectations and he was just firing away and it worked. This year, behind the twos in the O-line a lot, before Jordan got there, behind the modified ones of the line, it's looked like all of the bad habits of Clifford have really ingrained now. And that's the concerning thing in his development. All right, here we go. 2nd and 10 now. Clifford takes the snap, and it winds up being a toss to Emmanuel Wilson, I do believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Ellis Merriweather, who was the recipient of the toss. And
went nowhere.
Yeah, loss of a couple there. I think loss of one is how they're officially going to mark it. But Merriweather, he's had a nice camp. I mean, no one really expects a lot there. But I will say, like, he's made some nice plays. He's been consistent day in and day out. I don't think he stands a chance to make the roster, but nonetheless, like, that's good. It's building pedigree for him. He very well might be a practice squad player for the Packers. The knock here, though, is that halfback toss. Oh, Bob snap from Clifford, throwaway to Merriweather. They're going to call that incomplete. Yeah, okay. Botched snap there in every regard, and we got a flag. Goodness gracious.
Yay.
The big knock is the Packers, as their screen game has gotten better, tosses really have not. There's been two huge things that this offense just has not been able to do throughout the course of training camp, and it's screens and tosses. So, hey, yeah.
Pass interference, number 86. Penalty is declined.
Yeah, okay. Preseason for the refs, too. I mean, I'm not going to claim to see what Grant Dubose did, but, okay. Pass interference on a botch snap, throwaway to Merriweather, whatever. All right. Field goal! One of the most important aspects of today. So field goal attempt. This is a 54-yard field goal attempt for Anders. Oh, it's good! Anders, little buddy! 6'5", buddy. There you go, Anders. 54. I've been talking about this a lot. Okay. I hope you see what I've been talking about. If you haven't watched much Packer football to this point yet during the course of the preseason, what I mean and what I've been trying to describe as this short kick from Anders, okay? He does not step back as far as Greg Joseph does, nor does he step as far off to the side. A lot of the time, he's much closer to the holder. And then his kick, I hope you see what I mean there if you're seeing replays or anything. He does not have this full follow-through that you traditionally see. Some of that is new this year. Last year, it was very inconsistent. Sometimes he did it, sometimes he didn't. This year in training camp, every single kick has been like that. And what I've noticed for Anders is, yeah, he just hit a 54-yarder. But last year, when he had a more elaborate follow-through, he would clear 54, 55, 56, and have plenty of room to spare. Now, it's almost like he's aiming not to drive the ball through the goalpost, but to drop it between the goalpost and the net. It's very, very different. He's the leader in the clubhouse for the kicking job, but I just hope that now that we're all here watching together, or if you do have visuals, you see what I'm talking about with Anders. If that's the way he wants to kick, if that's the way Bisaccia is coaching him up, good. Just got to find consistency. That's the only thing. I don't care if you've got a goofy setup. Just make the kicks.
Right.
And that's the most important thing for sure.
Cam Kevin's saying Clifford playing out there with Newman is a punishment.
Man, I just, the end of the road's got to be coming for Newman. He had a very rough week. He had a rough game last week. It's just, I don't know, man. It's got to be reaching the end of the road.
Chris Hand saying should have seen Coach Matt walking onto the field for the first time. Like a bow.
I actually did see that right before on Twitter, right before hopping on. And like just the look of focus for preseason game number 3. And like he did give some high fives, so I appreciate to see that. But it's a good looking dude. Yeah, I'm not too mad to admit it.
Janelle talking about that 54-yard field goal.
Yes, indeed it was. And then also saying, Good, it's good. Bug or something?
Solar Miner. Hey, Solar Miner, let's
What's
go.
up, Solar Miner?
Queso the dude.
What's up,
saying,
Queso?
"Let's go." And Connie saying, way to go, Andre.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes, indeedy. All right, that kickoff. The return for Baltimore.
And they are stopped right around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and that's what I've been picking up on. I've been reading a little bit about the kickoffs, how it's been going in preseason. And what a lot of teams are finding is that you either do a touchback, comes to the 30, or you kick it, and most times it's been returned to the 30. So we're just kind of winding up at this spot. I know we're going to see more kickoffs this year, but I think a lot of them are going to look just like that, where the ball ultimately winds up at the 30. And what do we got in the visuals right now?
We're watching Carlson kick again because it was a good kick.
Yeah, that was warm-ups, though. All right, here we go. Baltimore with the handoff. I'm just going to be totally frank. I'm not going to know a lot about Baltimore's like backup numbers and stuff. Expect me to go, that dude got the ball a lot. Cause I don't know who these guys are. Just being upfront. All right. 2nd and 7 following the kick or the run for getting a 3. Solar.
Newman is fine if he's at 9th or 10th, but not as 4 or 5.
I have thoughts. Let me get back to that in just a second, Solar Miner. All right, so drop back play action there for Baltimore, and it winds up being caught by 36 and ultimately brought down. Looked like Hopper in on the tackle as 41 is Jamon Green in on that tackle. So a few different Packers combining there.
On the play.
And it's on Baltimore, another offensive pass interference call. I have to wonder if they are emphasizing this for a reason, because 2 offensive pass interference calls in the first 5 minutes of a preseason game is quite the anomaly. Maybe it's an emphasis. So nonetheless, let's back it up. And just waiting for the official marker here. 2nd and 17 is what it's going to wind up being for Baltimore. Patrice, what's up, Patrice? Welcome. This is not like everyone's back together. Right. So we're all together again. This is lovely.
Reunion.
All right, 2nd and 17 for Baltimore. He takes the snap out of shotgun, looks to the right. Do believe that's completed, but there on the tackle right away is Christian Welch, who has been playing some great linebacker for the Packers as of late. Sets up 3rd down. Josh Johnson, the completion there to... Yeah, I don't know who that is. I can't tell from that little bit of a number. 83 for Baltimore. 3rd and 12. Ishmael, the receiver for Baltimore. 3rd and 12 now. All right, here we go in shotgun again. 9:33 to go in the first quarter, and Brenton Cox Jr. is a little excited. But it's on Baltimore. False start. Baltimore, back him up. 5 yards. There we go. We like that. Brenton Cox was not over anxious. He was just going with what his eyes said.
Yep. He did see. Number 77.
he did see.
Well, because sometimes it's like, were you really the one that moved at first?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Pretty close. But yeah, no, he didn't. I mean, he did jump the gun, just not totally his fault.
Oh yeah, no, it was invoked. All right, here we go. Snap in shotgun, 3rd and 17, and Baltimore winds up doing a draw. And, he shimmies through the line a little bit, but ultimately Carl Brooks gets hands on feet. There's a few others involved in the tackle. Looks like Kalen King is there. Gotta say, following game number 2, Kalen King, an improvement in tackling would go a long way to helping his job prospects. So
that was honestly one
good
of
to
the
see him involved.
weirdest plays to see work itself out.
Yeah.
Because it didn't look like the Baltimore running back knew, like, hey, I'm giving this to you.
Oh, it was one of two things. It was either, here's the punt for Baltimore. It was either a designed what they call draw, meaning they hand it off, like they take the snap,
Yeah.
then hand off. It's not a singular movement. Or it was essentially like an option where the quarterback does a super quick read. Okay, everyone's covered in the millisecond that I'm surveying, handing it off to you. So there might have been some elements of surprise there. Martine, what's up, Martine?
Says, hi guys, love the noon games. Way better to watch from Europe, I bet. A lot of noon games in the first 8 regular season games. Ooh, we look forward to hopefully seeing you.
I mean, that is true. Week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 6 and 7 and 8. You are right, Martine. That is a bunch. Yeah, I haven't looked at the schedule that way for a while, but yeah, true. That also means for noon games, G won't be here, at least for the first half. So
I'll catch you for the second half.
you and me, Martine, hanging out. All right, Chris.
I couldn't help but laugh when John said it's preseason for the refs. I saw on Facebook a suggestion, should the NFL refs be graded during the year? I agree to that.
Okay, so the only thing that I'm going to say in that regard is like making those grades public does come with like I'm all for ref accountability. Okay. But making those grades public can lead to a little bit of what we've seen in baseball. If you're familiar with like Angel Hernandez and stuff like that, all of a sudden, certain refs, the reputation might grow larger than the performance. And then you just have this like, I don't know. Then you got to wonder about like, are things beginning to get tainted? So I do understand keeping their assessments behind closed doors because frankly, like, what are we going to do with that info anyway? We're still just victims to whatever they decide. So I don't know as if there's good to be had by the public being able to more so get on a bandwagon hating somebody or critiquing a ref or something to that effect.
David saying, hey, y'all from Mississippi.
What's up, David? Hello to you. So, all right, Solar Miner, you talked about Newman. Here's my thing with Newman, okay? A vastly experienced player, right? I mean, logged over even 1,000 snaps in his first year. Yes, no doubt. The thing is, though, when you're talking about O-line spot 9 or 10, hopefully this is a guy who doesn't see game action, right? So in terms of roster construction, would you rather not give that to a guy who is a draft pick of yours under a rookie contract for 4 years, a developmental guy, in the form of like Travis Glover? Keep him rostered, right? Or are you going to subject Travis Glover to a potential waiver claim or whatever? Or do you enjoy the more monetary value that comes with releasing Royce Newman, etc.? So I think when you're that far down the line, Clifford in play action, pressure coming in, but he gets the ball off to Dubose. Doesn't matter though, incomplete led Dubose just a little bit too far under pressure. So I think from a roster construction standpoint, generally speaking, you probably want that OL 10, maybe OL 9, that last spot, to be maybe someone that you want to hold on to for the future as opposed to the immediacy. And realistically, too, when you're talking about the interior, because the Packers do have more interior depth than tackle depth, you're already looking at Newman probably being behind Sean Ryan, behind Jacob Monk.
2nd and 10 under center, hands it off to Emmanuel Wilson, who gets pretty well stuffed.
Gain of maybe 1. So, I mean, so in that regard, he's like your backup interior lineman 3. And that's getting pretty far down the list. I think they're going to want to hang on to a developmental tackle before Newman. But if they keep Newman because of his experience and because of his place with the 2s at left guard and all that, I won't be shocked. And I've been saying that. I won't be shocked. But it just, from a roster construction standpoint, in my opinion, it makes more sense to keep your developmental tackle.
We got 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for Clifford. Cliff Dog takes the snap. He drops back a little bit. Throws to the right. Nope. Bo Melton there, covered by first-round pick by Baltimore, Nate Wiggins. That throw was up and out of bounds. Bo was kind of falling for it. Yikes. Solar Miner, so we agree. I mean, ultimately, yeah, like if he's O-line 9 or 10, you could do worse. But yeah, absolutely. In the first 4 or 5, no, absolutely not. Like, Royce Newman should not be near a starting lineup anymore. Once upon a time, it looked like he could be a long-term starter. It really did, but not with the way his career has progressed. Unfortunately, in a negative downturn.
The Irishman.
Dan Whelan, the Irishman, on with the boot. And he kicks it all the way to about the 23 for Baltimore. A return only gets to about the 28 before, again, Christian Welch making the tackle. Another strong performance for Welch thus far. Speaking of strong performances, if you're wondering about how the Irishman is doing, Dan Whelan, I have, granted, unofficial clocking, right? But there have been multiple punts of his in camp that have gone with a hang time of 6+. I know you probably have seen tweets, other reports, maybe you heard me talk about it, that he is having a fantastic camp. It's not hyperbole. Dan Whelan truly is having a great camp. And it doesn't matter if it's just him like kicking against air or if the lines are there. It doesn't matter. He is really looking like something special as a punter. And if he brings in neon green cleats, I'm down even more. All right, what do we got?
Kevin saying.
Oh, sorry, I missed one. David first.
David.
My
Newman
bad.
is just like Newman on Seinfeld. Newman.
Yeah, I know it, David.
Gavin Kevin's saying we finally have a punter, but we lost having a kicker.
Was it you? I think you said a couple videos ago, like, if only 5 years ago when we were saying, oh, if we could just have a punter, what will it cost us? And then now we know the cost.
Can't
Hey,
have both.
There's hope for Anders, though. There's always hope for Anders, big little buddy.
Patrice saying wide receiver Jahan Dotson got traded to the Eagles. Will that affect the Packers in game 1 against them in Brazil?
Maybe a little. He's probably going to be like wide receiver 3 for Philly behind Devonta Smith. They might kick Smith into the slot a little bit more in order to get Dotson on the field. But ultimately, like, he's going to have been there for 2 weeks. He does improve Philadelphia's wide receiver room, sure. But I don't think it's the kind of thing that we should suddenly be looking at and going like, well, that's a game-changing move, or the odds have shifted, or Green Bay's secondary has a tremendously tougher task ahead of them. I think that probably goes too far. But they do have a slightly better wide receiver room now. Yeah. And we might see a little bit more Smith in the slot or some more diversification. But ultimately, like, not a needle mover. All right.
David saying Carlson is going to be a hero sometime this year. I can just feel it.
We can hope. Let's hope together, David. I'm down with it because it looks like. Look, I mean, Joseph had his chance in camp, but there was even one video where I said like it looks like Joseph is going to be the kicker because Anders was in a slump at training camp. Oh, handoff here for Baltimore. Gain of nothing. The immediate stop performed by Kobe Wooden beginning to make some more plays. Really happy to see that. So, I mean, like, ultimately, it looked like Joseph was going to take it because Anders was in kind of a mid-camp slump. Joseph was not. Joseph looked comfortable kicking. And then camp just kept going on and kept going on. And Joseph has gotten worse as camp has gone on, while Anders has recovered from his slump quite well. And now is very, like, the last week, he's been very, very consistent in all the different settings.
Dropping back and incomplete.
Yeah, kind of
Looking
just
for 87.
a hook curl there to 87. Incomplete. Kalen King in coverage throw was not particularly close.
Nope.
So, yeah. It really looks like it's Anders' job now, for sure.
We got Martin saying it feels like GP does not play well.
Yeah, it's preseason. 38 dudes out. It gonna be sloppy. It just is. All right, here we go. Snap now for Baltimore, and he drops back out of shotgun. Pressure coming in from Bretton Cox amongst others. That is complete across the middle. Kalen King and someone else combining on the tackle. King's helmet goes popping off. So, yeah, it should be a little gain there. King, very nice job there for King and Young, the linebacker, combining on the tackle. Nice closure
met him
there.
Immediately.
Yes, they did. That sets up 4th and 8 now for Baltimore.
Kevin Keble saying was nice seeing so many Ravens players praising the area of Green Bay.
I agree. That was really cool to see. Especially Marlon Humphrey. Humphrey, if you're looking for a new place of employment, we can help. Let's see. The punt, not a bad punt at all. Goes to about the
Samori
18 for
Toure
Green
is
Bay.
receiving.
Samori Toure with the punt. Breaks a tackle with the spin and gets up to about the 20. That is one guy I will just say, given the wide receiver depth, given his hands difficulties throughout the course of training camp, maybe Toure finds himself in the practice squad. That would not be out of the realm of possibility at all. But Toure, I do believe his time on the 53 is going to be coming to a close.
Chris Hand saying, how in the world could Brazil look at the Packers and Eagles and be like, no green allowed? Well, we can tell they must get good eye doctors over there.
Hey, there's going to be green.
Right,
the whiteouts are not being used in Brazil. I fully understand the whole, like, we don't allow green in this stadium. That's our rivals' colors and, like, whatever. And it's got nothing to do with gangs, if anyone is still thinking that. It's actually about soccer. But the thing is, that's not going to be the case for Philly versus Green Bay. I personally, when the Packers came out with the whites, I wanted the whites and I wanted Philly in the blacks. I wanted like the white-black uniform matchup for week 1. It was going to be great. They took that from us.
Well, also, NFL is the one who schedules these games. They chose to put two teams that have green as their primary color in Brazil. They chose that.
Yeah, it wasn't a secret. But I mean, nonetheless, green is going to be there. It's going to be just fine.
David's saying, when is cutoff day?
And Connie's got it. I think it's Tuesday at 3. That is correct. Now, on Tuesday, as is tradition, you will see from various agents, the players themselves sometimes, whatever. Throughout the course of the day Tuesday, you will see leaked news. You'll see beat reporters saying, like, I heard from so-and-so who heard from so-and-so who's with someone's grandma. Like, they got cut. And so you're going to see that throughout the course of all day Tuesday. But then after 3 o'clock on Tuesday, you will see official word from the Packers as to their roster moves. And that is the official confirmation. All of the things that you'll see throughout the day, this is much, much, much more reliable than draft intel or whatever. So if you see news on Tuesday, feel free to go with it. But for my purposes, I am going to go live at, I think we're going to schedule it for 2:45 Central Time. So 3 p.m. Central is the actual cutoff. And then I'm going to be live with, I think, all 4 guys from Wisco Fanatics talking about ultimately what the news is, what our surprises are, where the Packers go from here. Then on Wednesday, I'll be putting out a video of just me, a pre-recorded video of just my thoughts, diving in fully to what does the roster look like now? A little bit more elaborate thoughts now that the 24 hours would have passed by Wednesday, etc. So be on the lookout for that this week. All right, so Michael Pratt now in at quarterback, and he hands it off to Ellis Merriweather, who stutters a step to a gain of, look to be about 11. That should be a first down. I don't know if you catch it there, though. If you were looking at the telecast, Sean Clifford, 1 of 7 today for a grand total of 13 yards. Just kind of, he had a very strong practice against Baltimore on Thursday, but a lot of what I saw today is kind of a continuation of what we've seen all camp long. A lot of running for his life, a lot of errant throws. It's been rough. He still might be QB2, but been rough. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 now from the 37 for Green Bay. Pratt takes it, tosses it to Ellis Merriweather. I got excited. It looked like he had a seam, but nonetheless, it's a toss that goes for about 3. So Merriweather gains a couple.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, with our tosses, that's an improvement.
Yeah, okay, that is actually true.
Our tosses are
such a good offense with such an Achilles heel on the halfback toss. Martine.
Is it true Green Bay underperforms when traveling long?
It used to be way worse than it is now. They used to have a really strong reputation, I want to say like 3-4 years ago, of a team that, here we go, kind of a play action there. Pratt to Heath. That should be close to a first down. Yep, there we go. Heath on the completion. So it used to be a much stronger reputation. They used to have this thing where they couldn't travel to California to save their lives. Every single game in California was rough. But now, no, they've worked really hard in the last 2 years to prep better for it. And the results have been better. So I'm going to say that one has been conquered for the Packers. Knock on my wood desk.
No, it's just the Niners that, Janelle, I think the Toure experiment is over.
Pratt, play action, rolling out. Pearson in the flat there, and he is. Yep, Pearson's the target, makes the catch, and he is tackled out of bounds. Gain of about 2. Welcome back Henry Pearson. Janelle saying, I think the two-ray experiment is over. Yeah, it's time, Janelle. There's just too many wide receivers who would do so much better than him in both hands and contributions in terms of teams and stuff like that. Like, he's realistically right now, Toure is probably wide receiver 8, maybe falling to 9 if Julian Hicks had more chances. So, yeah, it's
Pratt's under center, takes the snap, hands it off to Merriweather. Gain of 6.
But yeah, Merriweather's got some shimmy. He finds at least a little bit of a crease. Should be about an intermediate gain. We'll get the exact yardage here in a second. But, I mean, Merriweather, I've been saying he's had a nice camp overall. Good to see him carry that success into the game here. One thing, and I don't want this to come off as overly negative. And if it does, I'm sorry. Because I don't mean to kill anyone's vibe about Emmanuel Wilson or anything. But the last few carries, look at how Merriweather is running against Baltimore's backups. Emmanuel Wilson is doing the exact same stuff, and he always does. And this isn't a knock against him. But keep in mind, as the clamoring...
running, and he tosses it away.
Yeah, Pratt, under severe pressure, winds up getting brought down on the right side, but he does get rid of the ball. So with Emmanuel Wilson, I just want to say, let's just temper expectations, because remember how Wilson ran against starters when he got time on the 53 last year. It was a lot of small gains followed up by like a nice intermediate chunk run and then 5 more small gain ones. So I've seen a lot of clamoring lately for Emmanuel Wilson he has to make the 53. He's guaranteed to be on the 53, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's not a bad running back by any stretch. I'm just saying he's not a savior to the running back room if he continues to be what he was last year.
10, hand off to
Wilson.
Gain of
2. Brought down by Washington on Baltimore's line. And it's not a knock on him. I think that he is a very good running back. I love him as the running back 4 role that Patrick Taylor used to have, that practice squad 53 bounce back and forth player. I do grow very weary or concerned of Emmanuel Wilson against starters because we've seen that tail. And I haven't seen much this camp to be like, oh, it's completely different now. He's grown out of it. So I just want to say that. And I don't want it to come off as being a jerk to Emmanuel Wilson because he doesn't deserve it. But
I
think it's the reality.
6.
All right, so they're on the 31. Pratt and shotgun takes a snap, throws to the right. That is complete.
A first down.
Again to Malik Heath. Malik Heath saying that it's not just Grant Dubose's job. I'm still here.
Hi.
Hi, David. I will from time to time.
I speak with Flat Smack saying, go Pack, go!
Yes, absolutely, Flat Smack.
Kevin Pebbles, is it confirmed what uniforms they are in for Brazil? I missed it.
It's not going to be the whites. I think it's going to be just like the traditional Philly home versus Green Bay whites here, the aways. That has not been officially confirmed, but I do believe that that's what they're going with. And out pops the ball. He's going to be down, right? Emmanuel Wilson with a carry up the middle. And then the ball came popping out, but I think they're going to say he was down. It looked real
Runner
late.
was down.
Okay,
Yep.
Good deal. 52 seconds now to go in the first. It's going to be 2nd and 7 for Green Bay. Yep, they're just showing the replay here. Wilson, yeah, he was real close to being on the ground. Then he tried to spin out of it, fight for an extra yard, and then that's where it was punched down, but he's out. All right, so then Pratt, the telecast missed the play. Packers went too quick. Pratt throws to Heath with kind of a little hook, and incomplete's just not the same page there.
Cameron Kebble's saying, remember when Florida games were automatic losses for a while? Wild.
And we always used to chalk it up to the heat, right? Like Green Bay can't travel where it's humid and etc. And then the problem became California, and then we don't need to go back to London anytime soon. Let's add that to the list.
Nope. Jet lag is not our friend.
Here we go. 3rd and 7 now. The one thing I will say about Brazil is it's straight down.
Just kidding. Flag.
False start on Green Bay, back them up 5 yards. So, I mean, that helps relieve the concern. Yes, it's still a long flight, etc. But it's not the time zone change that London presented.
Bo, don't get excited.
Bo.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
Bo, don't play your way off the team, man. 3rd and 12 now for Green Bay. 33 seconds to go in the first. Bo knows. Bo is the truth. All right, here we go. Pratt in shotgun. Manuel Wilson back there running out. Yep, and the pass does go to Wilson. And he makes the catch, runs forward, gets up to about the 18-yard line. I think that's going to create fourth down, though. Didn't look like enough for the first. So we may have another field goal attempt. Hey!
And we're at 4th and 6.
Yes, indeed. 14 seconds to go in the first. I would think they're going to let the clock run out unless they really want to try getting the special teams in hurry-up mode. One thing that has improved about Emmanuel Wilson, though, I'll be totally upfront, is his hands. Throughout training camp, no issues with Wilson's hands or catching ability. That has been really, really good to see. And yes, that will take us to the second quarter. Packers preparing for a field goal. Let's catch up here.
So, Minor, I think they will trade on one of our outside linebackers.
Yeah, just to make sure we're on the same page, like edge, right? Now with the 4-3, they're technically defensive ends, but like edge rushers, right? I could see it. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Brian Gutekunst does some kind of trade here now that this final preseason game will be complete. Like, he's not at all a stranger to late camp.
Yes,
okay, late preseason trades. Wouldn't shock me at all. I'd be a little surprised if it's edge, though, just because I think they want to keep 5 defensive end edge. That would be kind of their MO. And right now, they are 5 deep there. Maybe Mosby is probably defensive end 6. He's created a little bit of a conversation with Brenton Cox Jr. for number 5. So, I mean, like, maybe, but are you going to find a team to trade for Aaron Mosby or Brenton Cox? I don't know. It's just kind of tough. I think they could trade from the offensive line if some team does want Royce Newman. We could see that. Or the other thing is...
You wouldn't be disappointed?
That's not the word I would use. But, you know, I would say, like, I think maybe from offensive line, could even potentially see, like, corner, although that's a little bit in the same mold. If some team wants a special teams corner type and like a Robert Rochelle, maybe they look there. Or even we could see a trade come from the wide receiver position. If some team believes that Samori Toure is still a worthwhile project and wants to trade a 7th for it, much like the Texans did back in the day for Kadar Holman when he was playing corner. So I don't know about edge because it's not the Packers' deepest position with Brenton Cox at D end 5.
So, the only reason Cox wasn't drafted was trouble, and he has gotten past that.
Yeah. I would very much agree with that. I guess I don't see the Packers trading Cox because they're going to want him, is like my thinking on it. Because they like to keep 5 D ends, and Brenton Cox Jr. is D end 5 at this juncture. I think they view him as a project that they want to hang around,
Greg
but
Joseph
we'll see.
for
sure.
a 36-yard field goal attempt.
Joseph for 36. And Dan Whelan on with the hold. In, up, kick. Good. Greg Joseph from 36 yards. That makes it a 6-0 Green Bay Packer lead.
Woo.
There you go. See, all right, now if you've seen it, this is what I'm talking about. The difference in kicking between Joseph and Anders. They look so different when they kick the ball. It's just, ay.
Chris, the way John and Claudia looked at each other, oh my goodness.
All the time. All right.
What are you doing?
Hey, Kevin.
We'll always have the first half of the London game.
Yeah, and then the Packers forgot they had running backs.
Why is that always a trend when we don't do well?
Always.
David saying that the Packers play good at Lambeau South.
Yeah, they do.
Kevin Kebble's interesting. Mike Wall pointed out some guys are still standing on the edge, but it seems to be specific guys, possibly guys just having an oops or reverting back by accident, though.
Kebbles, what do you mean by standing out on the edge? That one I'm just not familiar with what you're saying there. Let me know.
Ooh, that is a very good punt return in, relative, seeing as we've only seen 30-yard returns, but looks like they made it to 36 or so.
Yeah. All right, so Baltimore now getting ready to have the offense back on the field as Green Bay trots back out with their new defense. But yeah, it looks to be about 36 they're starting on. 14:51 to go in the half. 6-0 Green Bay.
Kevin Kebble's asking, do we know why teams stopped using the backup quarterback as the holder?
No, and I was actually thinking about this not too long ago. Oh, no commercial break. Okay, we go. Baltimore handing it off to the running back. Gain of like nothing. Maybe one.
They got 1. 2nd and 9.
Yes. Just a straight handoff up the middle. Tackle, though, I believe that's Welch again. Yep. Christian Welch. Dang, I'm going to have to include him on the 53. He's one of the special teams leaders, and he has been playing a much improved linebacker over what we've historically seen from Christian Welch. So he's having a great last 2 weeks of camp. But anyway, Kebbles, no, I don't know. I think still a couple teams do. But I have a couple guesses. And handoff here again.
And stuffed again.
Nice. The initial stop appeared to be, I think that was Hopper on the initial stop, but then Carl Brooks
that is a loss of 2.
Oh, DeHopper! It was DeHopper making the tackle. Yeah, I realized that like last week I can call that. I'm very excited. It's DeHopper. And Carl Brooks finishing it off. 3rd and 11. No, I don't know. It might have something to do with they don't want their hands kicked.
Yeah.
Or they just felt like quarterbacks are too freaking busy. So make the punter do it. He's not doing anything else. All right, shotgun for 3rd and 11. Johnson finds his receiver. Yeah. They're going to call that complete. Miller with the catch. Javon Green with the immediate tackle. Should set up about 4th and 1 now. 13:15 to go in the half. And then
4th and 2.
4th and 2 officially. And yeah, they're still on the Green Bay side of the field, so this could be another punt, or Baltimore may want to keep their offense out there and go for it.
Looks like they're going for it.
And that's what they're doing. So no point in punting around the 50, and it's preseason, so give your offense another stamp. 4th and 2. Johnson in shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, looks off to his right, and yep.
He makes it.
Yep, dinks it right in there, right between 2 Packer defenders. He hits Kolar for the 1st down. Looked to be about 4 yards on the catch.
Patrice, do you think that A.J. Dillon is done since he hasn't done much in preseason and now he has a stinger injury that he had last year?
If he's healthy, he's on the team. If he's healthy, he's on the 53. I feel really comfortable saying that given how they've used him and given the fact that he's still their best pass pro running back, and it's not really that close. His shoulder may complicate things. Play action here. Pass to, don't know who the receiver was, but Zane Alexander is the one in coverage. Zane Anderson, sorry. Zane Anderson pops that right out. Incomplete pass. Going to be interesting to see what they do with Zane Anderson, if they want a special team safety or if they're just going to roll with their 5. He's one guy I really don't know what to do with.
Beautiful coverage, getting his hands in there to
nice
make
job,
that
Zane.
an incomplete pass.
So yeah, if Dillon's healthy, he's on the team. The shoulder injury, though, depending on how bad it is, and given the fact that it's the 2nd stinger on the same shoulder and the 1st stinger was a 3-week injury, which is really weird for stingers, we got to know more medically before we can say for sure.
And attempt to run up the middle is stuffed by Johnson.
Yeah, Anthony Johnson Jr. on the tackle. What's up, Dan?
Dan, I don't think Joseph was brought in for competition, but to push Anders. Don't think they were interested in him as a roster guy. What do you think? Percents are too close.
I think Greg Joseph was one of the better free agent kickers out there when they were shopping for one. And I do think if maybe he wasn't the favorite, but I think he was a heck of an insurance policy. That if Anders shotgun here for Baltimore, 3rd and 9 at the 50, dropping back, he's got all day. And then he finds a wide open number 16, last name Wallace. Zane Anderson there on the tackle. Touchdown, Baltimore. Something just busted for Green Bay. I want to see that replay. Because 1, he had all day to throw.
Yeah.
2, dude was wide open streaking across the middle. And that resulted in a 48 officially yard touchdown for Baltimore. So I want to see a more expansive replay to say, why was he so alone? Zane Anderson, good effort there to chase him down, but just too little too late.
According to the captions, Kalen King was supposed to tail in there.
Oh.
So it might be
King. All right.
Again.
I really hope we get more of a full field replay on that one. Tuck on for the extra point.
I do have a special place.
But yeah, anyway, I think Joseph was a heck of an insurance policy. That like if Anders wasn't going to be consistent in camp,
point is good.
Then you got a vet kicker to go with. So I don't think he was the favorite, but I do think he was legit as an option.
Do you have a special place in my heart for Tuck?
I did see Chris's next comment saying a quarterback is a holder. Please don't kick me. Please don't kick me. That could be why.
Those fingers are important.
Be the reason. Yeah.
They are more important than a placeholder.
Yes.
Kevin Kettles, like 55, can't spell his name, sorry, in some preseason game was standing up versus hand in the dirt.
Oh.
Just like him.
Okay, I got you now. So Enagbare is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not trying to spell that one.
There could be a couple of reasons for that. I wouldn't be shocked if Hafley, like if with your defensive ends, they've got their alignment, whether they're going to be outside the tackle, over the tackle, in the tackle, whatever, right? Whatever the play calls for. I would not be shocked, given Hafley's personal style thus far, if he were to say to them, go to the right spot. And how you're comfy, then you may do. Right? And as long as you're over the tackle, whether you want your hand in the dirt, whether you're standing, I wouldn't be shocked just given Hafley's approach. I wouldn't be shocked if Hafley identified Enagbare, who's a better player, with his hand in the dirt. So he said to him, hey, just try it. If you're going to be better that way, what do we care? Also seems very Hafley to say. It seems like Hafley is that type of coach where he just wants success. Right? And that means like, here's the structure, here's the concept, but I'm going to allow you to do your job the way that you want to do your job. And I'm not going to micromanage it. That could be something. Or perhaps they just like that rush style better against a particular tackle. That could be possible too. So while I don't know for sure, those would be my off the top of the head theories.
David saying, as Packer fans, we should all really appreciate over 30 years of being relevant in the NFL. No kidding.
That's the truth, David.
And I think that was extremely relevant. When Jordan Love was struggling a bit to get started, and when we were crossing over between Rodgers and Love, we were in a slump. Some teams have had multiple year-long slumps, and it's
or rebuilds.
Right.
Yeah, our rebuild was 3 weeks.
Yes. I think that really showed in the past season or two of we're not used to not being on top, and it gets really frustrating for us fans when we have to experience what is honestly the norm for some other teams. We could be Bears fans,
Yeah. Yeah. We could be stuck in purgatory.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. So kickoff here, Emmanuel Wilson, the returner. He did bring it up to about the 29. Then we see, let's see. Yeah, like an illegal formation on Baltimore was the call. So that's going to adjust the yardage here by a couple yards.
Martin's saying, how many picks will Rich get of the 53?
I'm gonna have to think about that. Let me dwell on it for a second, Martin. For sure, I'll have that talked about in Monday when I do the 53-man roster prediction. I'll identify whether they're a Rich pick or not. But yeah, it's off the top of my head, 5, not including kicker and punter.
We got David saying relevant for 20 years.
Well, I mean, 2024? 94? No, David, it's like 30 now. Like it really is. Because I mean, Favre won his first MVP in 95, and we're a year away from that. So we're
to Meriwether.
Right, we're getting to 3 decades already.
Will be third down.
Yeah.
3rd and 1.
3rd and 1. 10:30 to go in the half.
Flat snap saying Packers have been relevant for 105 years.
Absolutely. We don't know what it's like to not be known.
Cheeseheads, baby.
Oh boy. Chris.
John, I need your advice. Is it okay to be super excited? Love beat Patrick last year. Kind of like an argument I went through at work about how it matters. It doesn't. I think it says a lot. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Okay, so then roll out there for Pratt. He hits Emmanuel Wilson, who's got room, and then Wilson does not go down from the tackle attempt and stares him down, the would-be defender. So that winds up being a very nice gain. I have said this a lot. If you want to know what Michael Pratt does better than basically any quarterback ever, it is play-action rollouts. In training camp, it is so like... when they ask him to roll out, it's almost ensured to be at least an intermediate completion. It is such a strength of his to roll, find the correct layer. There you go. Wilson breaks 2 tackles. Yeah. That's about a 10-yard gain.
It's really not helpful that Wilson and Merriweather both start with a 3.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's such a strength of Pratt to roll out and identify, do I want to go to the shallow crosser in front of me, the intermediate maybe out above, or a deep something, right? It's been such a strength of his, truly, to roll out, identify the correct guy to go to. And now, there are certainly deficiencies in his game. I'm just pointing out.
It's a 12-yard gain.
He is so good at that. Like, unbelievably good. Okay, Chris, is it okay to be
First
super
and 10,
excited?
Pratt under center, takes the snap, hands off to Wilson. Gain of maybe 4 for a second down.
Chris, so to answer your question here, Chris, I think it's not nothing. It's also not a Super Bowl win, right?
5.
Anytime an unheralded quarterback goes against one of what could wind up being, pretty easily, a top 5 quarterback of all time, and beat him repeatedly. Now, granted, it's not QB versus QB, right? It's not that simple. There's obviously lots of other dudes on the field that help dictate a game. But it's not...
Second and 5, handoff to Wilson for gain of 3.
Yeah, third down, 8 minutes to go in the half. It's not nothing, but I also wouldn't sit there and be like, well, that was a defining achievement for Jordan Love that will capstone the early portion of his career or anything like that. Like, it's a great win, but that's kind of all it is, if you get what I'm saying. It's meaningful, but not big, if you get what I'm saying.
Sorry, gain of 1, 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4, 7:35 to go in the half now. Green Bay is threatening Baltimore again. They're on the 18-yard line.
We are sitting in shotgun and...
nothing. So it looks to be probably
kidding.
A timeout. David, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, we were irrelevant for 20 years.
Green Bay.
70s, 80s. Yeah. I'm with you now. I got you.
Timeout, Green Bay. David saying the real change came when Favre came to town and never looked back.
Yeah. Holmgren, well, first it started with Wolf, the architect, right? Mm-hmm. So like Wolf, Holmgren, Favre, and then the thing that really pushed it all over the top to be like, we don't just have a gunslinging quarterback, now we're a legit contender, was Reggie choosing to sign in Green Bay. In the early 90s, free agency in its infancy, maybe the best free agent the NFL's ever seen to this day, being like, yes, I'd like to go to Green Bay. It was such a move that helped put Green Bay on the map in like relevancy in the NFL landscape. It's hard to overstate how big that was for the team.
3rd and 4, sitting in shotgun. Taking the snap, dropping back, throwing it.
Pratt airing it out to the end zone. Oh, that's caught! Bo, baby! Yes, Bo knows. Oh, and then the Lambeau leap for Bo. Oh, little buddy. Oh, that makes me so happy. All right, Bo Melton with a jumping touchdown catch.
10-yard touchdown, Pratt to Bo Melton.
That traveled in the air for so much more than 10 yards, and it also was definitely more than 10. That was closer to 20. But
according to the captions, people, don't quote me.
But Bo Melton leaping, he was covered, and it wasn't like he mossed the guy, but he did have to go to air to
Carlson
catch that.
For the extra point, and it is good.
Oh, the agenda here at Lombardi Time Brews is alive and well. Give the ball to Bo and big little buddy Anders. Woo! Look at us go. And Anthony Johnson Jr. had a tackle earlier. Get Oladapo some snaps and we're gold.
Oh,
attaboy, Bo. Yeah, attaboy, Bo. And that makes it 13-7 Green Bay over Baltimore, 7:22 to go in the half. Keep in mind, just one thing I do want to say, clarity for the channel. We're out at halftime. Just a first half watch party today.
It's preseason for us too, people.
And then of course, when we get to the regular season, there's going to be just a couple of games that we don't do watch parties for. I can tell you assuredly there is not going to be a watch party on Thanksgiving this year because we host Thanksgiving just like last year. We can't do a watch party when we're hosting family and they come first. So that's no watch party on Thanksgiving. And then there's no watch party on for the Texans game. I'll tell you why later. But ultimately, there is not going to be a watch party for that one.
I'm not a huge fan of the Packers scheduling.
Not even a little. Not even a little.
Between this and alumni signing schedule, we have some issues.
Feeling very targeted lately by the Packers.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, we can just tell them now, right? It's all friends. So anyway, so we're not doing one on Thanksgiving. That's known, right? There will be one game over the course of the year that I don't do watch party for because I reserve one game a year to watch with my dad. Just like I was growing up, it's very important to me in the time that we have left that I get to watch a game with my dad. But then on October 20th, there's going to be no watch party because on Saturday, October 19th, I said on Twitter and Facebook and all these other things that that the whiteout game is quite apropos for us.
I will fit the theme.
You really will, because on Saturday, October 19th, that is actually our wedding day. Yeah, not our anniversary. I know a lot of you have assumed for a long time. I've already referred to his partner in life because we've been engaged for years. Well, now it's actually time for us to do the paperwork. And we are getting married on Saturday, October 19th. So there is not going to be a watch party on Sunday.
Packers just had to have one of the most exciting games of this season the day after.
Yeah.
Wedding.
So here's the thing. Okay. Obviously we set this a long time ago. Okay. And we said, we know that's during the season, gonna be what's gonna be. Right. And then they released the opponents for the year. Here's the kick. And it is caught at the 8-yard line and returned all the way up to about the 35, tackled by Jalen Wayne. And we said, there's one game on the schedule. Like, I don't want it to be a Bears game. Don't want it to be a Vikings game. Like, let's hope it's not a division game. But then the one other game, I want to watch the Texans game. I want to be fully invested in the Texans game. Really want to do a watch party for the Texans game. Don't put it on that weekend.
And then they did. And then they not only did that, they teased with the whiteouts. And we're like, ooh, when is that going to come out? Like, we are so excited.
Man.
You just had to put it on the one day where we're a little busy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a noon game, which is even worse.
Right? It's not even like prime time. Which, like, okay, come on now. You're not going to put Jordan Love and CJ Stroud in prime time, but that's another.
Rollout completion for Baltimore, gaining a couple 7 minutes to go in the half, second and 1 for Baltimore.
Thank you to all of the congrats that we're seeing in the comments.
Everybody.
We appreciate you guys.
So, yeah, and the reason why over the course of 2 years in this channel now, we've been engaged the whole time and everything, but like anytime someone has said like husband and wife and that kind of thing, like even earlier, we even wanted to correct it because it's just weird to always constantly be correcting. I do introduce her, right? So like we've just kind of rolled with it, but we knew an announcement was coming, and that is today. So thanks for all the congrats, everybody. It's like I said, like we've been together for a very long time. We've been engaged for a long time. But still, to do the paperwork, we're very, very excited. And so, yeah, been planning. It's been a long time coming. It just means we're not doing a watch party that day. Yes. We are not doing a watch party at noon following our wedding the night before.
I kind of thought,
love y'all, but sorry.
We could do it in our wedding attire, but no, sorry.
So, all right, back to the game. 6 minutes to go in the half. And it is basically just a pitch to the Baltimore running back who gains about 6. Anthony Johnson Jr. again on the tackle. The agenda is live and well. Let's see what else we got here. Captain Keppel saying for your later viewing, Next Gen Stats posted the animated play of the big play touchdown. Okay, good. I will look that up. Thank you, Captain Keppels. Chris Hand saying, thanks, John. I wish it counted that we were the only ones to three-peat, to be honest, but I guess they obviously wouldn't count it. You can count it in your heart, Chris.
Right.
And a whole bunch of congrats. Thanks, everybody. Means the world. We're very, very happy. It's time. So thank you, everybody. But yeah, no watch party. Yeah. Oh yeah. And by the way, just to throw this on there since they're not doing a play right now. Every Saturday, there is Packers alumni. Every Saturday of a home game. Whether if you live by Green Bay, I'm sure you know this. If you don't, it's just a little tidbit. Every Saturday before a home game on a Sunday, there are two alumni that come in and do a free autograph signing in the Packers atrium. I've gone to many of them over the years. They're great. Sometimes it's guys like Eddie Lacy, Sam Shields, like Amon Green, names, right? Like legit names. And they announced all the names this year. And then there were 2 guys on the list that there's a bunch that I got to go to for my collection personally, but there were 2 guys that I was like, oh man, I can't believe they're doing a free signing in the atrium. Jerry Kramer and James Lofton. Yeah, I'm going to go meet them for free. They got put on the morning of Saturday, October 19th. So it's the whiteout, the Texans game, and 2 Hall of Famers doing a free signing. When I found all of this out, the Packers and I were not friends for the day. That might have been a more negative video if I pumped one out that day. But yeah, so. But anyway, it's a good reason to miss all that stuff.
Nice save.
Thank you. All right, we are still waiting for the next play here. Some kind of stoppage going on the field. But yeah, here we are.
Yeah, what's new in our life?
Yeah, right? Nothing going on.
Right.
If we seem a little busy, it's because we're also been planning a wedding for the last 6 months. So, all right, 5:43 to go in the half. Still 13-7, Green Bay over Baltimore.
Yeah, that's. Woo.
Yeah, without having the sound on. If anyone's watching, can you tell us why we're stopped? Because we don't have the sound on, so I can't really tell you what's happening. Looks like they may be checking on an injured guy, but he's on the sideline fully. Okay, now they're bringing him a cart. But still some kind of stoppage going on, it appears. So 61 of Baltimore is the guy.
Samek?
Yeah, heading to the cart.
It's got to be a fun name. You can do a lot with that. Samek.
Like Harper. Yeah, and he is getting wheeled away. I will say, you always hate to see.
Oh, he's a rookie.
And here's the play.
Oh, yeah, he just kind of got hit by everybody in every way possible.
I guess his leg just kind of rolled. All right, here we go. Back to the field. Whoa! Aaron Mosby!
Forced fumble.
Wow! And that's a touchdown! Yes! Wow! So Aaron Mosby comes rushing against the left tackle of Baltimore. Came in like just a dart, completely unleashed, flies into the quarterback, actually left his feet, hit the quarterback, who had no idea he was there, that lightning quick. And the ball then goes flying.
To be picked up by Anthony Johnson Jr., our agenda continues.
So, I mean, like the ball, it wasn't just a fumble that dropped right in front of the quarterback. That flew a good 10 yards behind the QB. Aaron Mosby immediately got up, gave chase, but Anthony Johnson Jr. beat him to the ball, scooped it up, returned it, looked to be a good 30-yard return or so. That's a touchdown for the Green Bay Packers defense. Aaron Mosby, what a play. I mean, the speed at which that he got to the quarterback,
Joseph,
really
good
impressive.
Point.
Joseph, good extra point.
Baby.
That makes the score 20-7, 5:19 now to go in the half. Anthony Johnson Jr., get yourself that preseason touchdown. Wow. And I will say, too, I mean, Johnson Jr. was at the beginning of camp in this rotation with Xavier McKinney, or like the partner of Xavier McKinney, I should say. It was Bullard, Williams, and Anthony Johnson Jr., each kind of alternating days. And then all of a sudden it became Bullard every day. And then Evan Williams kept on getting picks. Like Anthony Johnson Jr. is the one who's kind of fallen back, no longer considered in the starting conversation at safety. Really good to see him make a play. He is going to be on the 53 without a doubt. So nice play there for the touchdown.
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, that was a heck of a play. If you're not watching the telecast, I would fully encourage you to check out the highlights later. The speed that Mosby. Wow.
Completely blindsided. And that ball went flying. Like, there was no chance for any of the offense to try
Mosby
and
exploded into that pass rush.
That was beautiful.
All right, kick return now for Baltimore, and they get up to about the 34. Tackle made by Henry Pearson, fullback tight end. The return of Henry Pearson. I mean, just
Thanks,
wow.
Captain Kebbles.
What a
Say
play.
hi to your dogs.
Be back, friends. Gotta watch the dogs. Oh, awesome. See you, Captain Kebbles. Thank you for being here. David.
You decorate the piano for your wedding.
Maybe. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we would do that. So, yeah.
David also asking, so once married, will you be sitting closer together during the broadcast?
Our chairs literally cannot go closer, David.
Yes.
They are on top of each other to get in frame. This is what we do.
Right? Yeah, I don't think there is any closer.
Right. Hand off to Baltimore out of the backfield. Gain of maybe 2 on the ground. Jonathan Ford, Christian Welch, and another individual there in on the tackle. So, but yeah, maybe we'll put some bells up, some white.
Right, there you
David.
go. I'm sure we will have plenty of leftover decorations to put somewhere.
All right, so 4:45 now to go in the half.
2nd and 8 for Baltimore.
Following the 2-yard gain. And snap is taken by 13 of Baltimore. He rolls out to the right, trying to find somewhere to go. And he winds up scrambling for a gain of about 8, does Leary, the quarterback for Baltimore. 4:27 to go.
3rd and 3.
David. It looks excellent. Don't change the set. Well, thank you, David.
Thank you.
You can't anticipate.
We got a white helmet there. That's,
yeah.
that works.
Yeah. You can anticipate in fall there will be leaves again. In Christmas there will be Christmas lights.
Of course.
That's about all we do. Oh, thank you, Martin. That was Joseph, and he did hit it. So, yep, Joseph and nailing the extra point. Just based upon the way they're being used, I think they might be going by quarters today for the kicker as opposed to kick. Complete there should be a first down. Look to be a gain of about 4. First down, Baltimore. So, yes, it was Joseph on the extra point. I want to say Anders handled the first, then Joseph the second. We may see that continue throughout the course of the rest of the game. And thank you, Connie. Yes, Joseph made the extra point. So, well, we got a little lull here. 3:30 to go in the half. If you haven't seen it yet, I actually had the opportunity during camp to actually meet shotgun here for Baltimore. Drop back, toss it off to number 33, completion. And a shove out of bounds, gain of a couple, 44 for Green Bay with the tackle. That would be Raylan Goforth, the UDFA from USC in Washington, the linebacker. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, that's Matt LaFleur. Had the opportunity to meet him during training camp. Not going to lie to you, he was in a terrible mood when I met him, but he still stopped and signed for me. It was really, really cool. I got the chance to meet him and actually talked to him for 1 minute, and snap here for Baltimore, handoff again, gain of, no, he shatters a tackle, and then runs forward. That's going to be a gain of about 15, eventually brought down in the secondary by Green Bay. I want to say that the tackle broken might have been Anthony Johnson Jr. Ooh, the agenda takes a hit on that one. But let's see here. Nice carry up the middle. Oh, it was 44. So again, Raylan Goforth had his tackle broken.
Jr. was...
Anthony Johnson Jr. was the tackler, not the broken tackler.
Agenda continues.
We're fine. Status quo. All right, so I'll tell you at the 2-minute warning what LaFleur said to me. But here we go. Shotgun snap for Baltimore. Takes the snap, drops back. Pressure incoming from Brenton Cox Jr., but he can't finish it off.
Incomplete.
Then a tip. Then, oh my goodness, is that caught?
I thought it was.
I thought that hit the ground, but they're celebrating. Wade with the catch.
A touchdown go across the bottom.
I honestly don't know.
So I'm not sure because it.
So okay, first was pressure from Brenton Cox Jr. He got in there. He got a hand on Leary, but Leary still got rid of the ball. Then Christian Welch was able to.
No, I don't know.
I think that's a catch.
Yeah, it might.
Christian Welch then deflected the pass. Wade, the receiver for Baltimore, was behind Welch. He caught the deflection and then ran in about 20 yards.
I'm going to be honest.
For a touchdown.
If this is a true touchdown and he got that without it touching the ground, that is a great job by Wade.
Oh, to stick with it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. The Ravens, that was, it was tipped twice, almost caught by Green Bay. Should have been, but... And if he was able to reel that in without it touching the grass, that is a very good job for him.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just one of those fluky plays of you're not going to be angry at any defender. Oh, that looks like the ground in that angle.
Okay. We might be all right.
Yeah, I think that's going to go down as incomplete now with that angle. That looked like brown on grass. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if it winds up being a touchdown, it's one of those fluky plays. Cox got good pressure. Welch got the deflection. You could make the argument he should have caught it, but
the ball hit the ground.
Still got the deflection. Okay,
yeah.
Good deal, Janelle. Well, so anyway, upon meeting LaFleur, he was in his golf cart, and I just happened to be there. And so I asked him because he was doing his scowl very much so, but he still stopped for me. And I asked him because I wanted to keep it light and we did talk football and I can't say much of that, but and then I asked him, what's with you wearing long sleeves all the time?
Every time. So I have been to training camp 3 times. Was it 3 times or 2 times?
This year?
Yes. 2 times. One day that I went, it was hot, very, very hot. Sun just so bright beaming down on us. Long sleeve and pants. Anytime I've seen him on the screen, on the sidelines of games, long sleeves and pants. Makes sense during the winter, not during the summer. I don't know what he's today. He's wearing a t-shirt underneath his long sleeve.
It's 85 degrees, man.
Yeah.
Well, so I asked him why, and granted, he was in a terrible mood. He just kind of cracked a smile. And, it's just my look. And then he handed me back the helmet and off he drove in his golf cart. All right, that is the one time I met Matt LaFleur. All right, chalk it up. But yes, and if you're wondering, just from a memorabilia angle, if you're wondering about these white helmets, so this is just a mini, right? I've seen some people talking about what color to get it signed in, so I used gold paint pen, and it shines. I know we're under real lighting right now, but it shines quite well. If you are interested in getting a white mini or anything like that, I would recommend gold paint pen. David, I did. I actually did. Since you say that, I said yes, and my fiance has one question for you to wrap up the conversation. So, funny you should say that. I did.
Because I genuinely would always wonder, how are you just not dripping with sweat?
Yeah, it's
every time.
I don't know.
Well, and sometimes it's not even just a long sleeve. He'll be wearing a full-blown sweatshirt and joggers, sweatpants.
Yeah. Minute 57 to go. 15 plays for 83 yards on the ground for Green Bay, 5.5.
Still at a second and
yard per carry average, and 11 for 40 for Baltimore for 3.6. Second and 10. Yeah, for the preseason, I know they got to do commercial breaks in preseason, but there is a certain element of we can go. We can watch the game here too.
All right. Baltimore is in shotgun position here, taking the snap.
Mosby!
He is just eating this up.
Man, Solar Miner, when you said earlier the Packers should trade one of their DNs, you might have been on something, my friend. because Mosby, have yourself a game. Yeah, as a defensive end, he just dropped back into coverage, and Leary, the quarterback for Baltimore, didn't see him, I'm assuming, and throws it right to Mosby.
Like Ishmael was the target.
Mosby
just snatched that up.
Forced fumble and an interception for the defensive end. Love to see it. So does it radically change Mosby's 53-man chances? Probably not. This is just one preseason game, but
Wilson takes the run for.
As I've noted, he has created a conversation with Brenton Cox Jr. for who should be D end 5, and he certainly is not harming his case today with that conversation. So cutdown's going to be real interesting this year on Tuesday. They've got some real choices.
That run from Wilson had no gain. We are at 2nd and 10. Woo! And Clifford is running.
Yes, so
for his life.
Clifford is back in. He winds up running. Gains 3, maybe 4 on the scramble, and then we got a flag on the play. So obviously the Packers not going with your traditional second quarterback plays till the 4th, and then 3rd takes over. They're switching off now as Sean Clifford re-enters the game.
Illegal content, number 23 of the Baltimore Ravens.
So that should
automatic first down.
First down.
1st and 10.
Minute 18. Reminder, we are jumping off at halftime, just so you know. We did the first half today. We wanted to say hi to everybody, and then it's time to do the rest of life while we watch the game and stuff. So
while they are huddled up, Russell saying, "Thank you for giving this New Yorker a place to enjoy the game live. I enjoyed your content this spring and summer."
Oh, well, thank you, Russell.
Thank you for being here, Russell.
Thank you.
Shotgun formation for Clifford.
And Clifford takes a snap, drops back to Manuel Wilson in the backfield again. Clifford finds Toure over the middle, and that should get the Packers up to about the Baltimore 47. So officially crossing the half-field threshold there. And really good 2-minute practice here.
Yes,
so minute 1 to go.
Yep.
Green Bay does have 2 timeouts. We'll see if they use them or if they want to do a true
and
2-minute.
Off to Wilson for a small gain.
Yeah, a gain of just a couple there for Wilson. And they do stop the clock. 52 seconds remaining in the half.
Connie saying, "I second that statement." Thank you, Connie.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you, Russell. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah.
Saying hello.
Yeah.
Listen to us.
It has been fun to get back in watch party mode. Very
Yes.
much looking forward to this year. 53 seconds now.
We're at a 2nd and 7 for the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, they can speed this up. just saying. I know there's gotta be TV timeouts and stuff, but like, come on, it's preseason. Let's go. All right, here we go. Monk in its center, trying to identify the rest of the line. It looks like Monk at center, Leckett to Smith at left guard, Newman at right guard. Tackles, I'll try to get on this play. Snap to Clifford. Clifford's got time. Delivers a pass over the middle to Joel Wilson, who hangs on to this one. Should be a few yard gain. Gets him up to about the 41. Honestly, like that play has been kind of the anomaly for Clifford this camp. Standing in and finding someone over the middle. That's what he has not done a lot of.
And there's a flag on the play.
30 seconds to go in the half, and that flag is on Green Bay. I think they got him for a false start, if I'm not mistaken. And that would be on Kadeem Telfort.
30 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume false start. So it should re-back them up to about the 46 again. I'm sure the Packers would love to see a touchdown from their second string, mishmash, third string offense. Of course you want to see that, and you want to see all these guys go. I'm also quite certain that the Packers wouldn't be upset with another field goal attempt just to continue looking at kicker.
Right.
So, whichever way. Oh, very good stat comparison on the telecast right now. Thus far today, Sean Clifford, 3 of 9 for 31 yards. Michael Pratt, 6 of 8 for 67. 1 touchdown for Pratt. Nothing else in the box score for either one. Clifford lead 1 scoring drive thus far across 3 drives. Pratt 2 scoring drives across 2 drives for him. Granted, they're going against different defenses, etc. All things to be taken into consideration, but those are the facts. Pratt has been significantly more successful today. And based upon the sideline, it looks as though if there is a field goal attempt to be had, it will be one big little buddy, Anders Carlson, doing the attempt.
30 seconds left. 3rd and 9 with that penalty.
LaFleur chatting with the refs, figuring out what's going on.
Let's get this moving.
I don't know what we're waiting for. Oh, so someone was charged a timeout. Green Bay was charged a timeout. There we go. Okay. So now the play clock is rolling again. We're good. Here we go. Green Bay with the ball on the 41.5. And Clifford takes the snap, drops back, and he throws over the middle, but he leads to Ray just a little bit too far. 24, Baltimore also got his hands on it. Incomplete pass, so it looks as though this is going to be a field goal attempt for Anders Carlson, and it's going to be a mighty long field goal attempt.
He's going to be touching that.
Again, pressure, though. Clifford did take a shot. That was a blitz for Baltimore. Clifford took a shot from 23, but he stood in there and delivered it. And never mind. They don't want Anders to try a kick from the mid-50s. They want the Irishman to get in some practice. So Dan Whelan gets out there.
Who is not wearing neon green shoes.
I know, it's disappointing. He even knows those are our favorites, too.
Yes, yep.
All right, so it would have been... I just like, oh, nice punt from Whelan. Takes its initial bounce at the 9, and then Christian Welch grabs the ball, actually downing it at about the 14. Excellent punt by Whelan again. Would have been like a kick for Anders of like 58-ish. Actually thinking they were on the 46 because of that penalty. Yeah, so it would have been a kick of like 62, 63 for Anders. I don't know. I would have done it. I would have rather seen that than a punt from the punter can punt. But unless they really wanted Whelan to try sticking it inside the 10 or something like that, in which case, mission accomplished there as well. You never know what they're looking for.
Is the half.
That is it. Time is ticking down. All right. So Green Bay 20, Baltimore 7. Green Bay looks to be on the way to a second preseason victory. All right, everybody, just a reminder, on Monday is going to be my final 53-man roster prediction. Then on Tuesday, live show, going to be live with them for quite a while. Wisco Fanatics and I discussing all the things to go along with the cut down day. You will find out the official 53-man roster at that show, no doubt about it. Then on Wednesday, an expanded show of just my thoughts going over the 53 and saying what they're going to do next. And then we actually get into some form of regularity. And then we could go back to actual Monday, Wednesday, Friday shows, and my life can return to normal. Very much looking forward to it. So thank you, everyone, so much for being here. It's meant a lot. It was a lot of fun to get back into watch party mode. So enjoy the rest of the second half, or enjoy whatever else you are doing today as you get away from the preseason. So thanks, everybody. It is time for us to go. And as always, go Pack.